Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Thank you, sir. 2 hours to the commencement of the 2024 Hajj program. How prepared is NAHCON to ensure successful outcome of the pilgrims?
So, Alhamdulillah, let me sound as modest as I can be. Otherwise, I could have said more than 95%. But speaking seriously, I think we're on top of our game. You know, this is the most crucial stage of all that had been planned in the last 10, 11 months. In other words, we could say we're approaching the D-Day. You would recall that yesterday we had a pre-Arafat session where we again roll out the new guidelines as issued by the Saudis that have to do with movement from point A, point B, point C. What I mean by point A, point B, point C, I mean movement from Mecca to Muna and to Arafat. But of course, you will add point D on your return because there's always a stopover at Muzdalifah and then coming back. Hopefully, going on that trajectory, if we're able to get it right, having sensitized our pilgrims and had a deliberate enlightenment program, and we stick to what the plans are, I believe Allah helping us, we will get it right. According to the calendar, movement to Muna commences formally tomorrow. But when you say tomorrow, means any moment after 11:59 p.m. today, and the clock gives the sound that it is 12 midnight, then of course you've already migrated to the following day, which will be tomorrow. Unexpectedly, people will start moving as from midnight today. We're not insulated from the plan too, if it will work out for us. We have such a volume that needs some strategic movement, as it were. A volume of over 60,000, you'll agree with me, it's not going to be a tea party. But I think having told ourselves the need for us to be very organized, to be strategic in how we move, to make sure that we operate within the guidelines given in terms of the tawhid, the grouping that we've preached all along while the preparations were on from the states for them to put themselves in groups. And then we go on the route, Tradudia, that the Saudis too had laid out. I believe Allah helping us, we will get it right. We'll get it right. And even as I speak to you, we've invited the states and other stakeholders for a meeting which will commence in the next 30 minutes, inshallah, where we'll again remind ourselves, know the state of preparedness of all the states and other stakeholders, so that collectively we'll all be on the same page, inshallah.
Despite the fact that this well-important outing is reaching fasting, there are still some Nigerian pilgrims that are yet to obtain Muslim cards, which is described as a necessary condition for every pilgrim on how to receive. How do you address that concern?
You'd have noticed that since yesterday, or let me say 48 hours ago, we had been on this, and we had cause to report to our pilgrims to ask them to be patient. How we wish that the production of these cards are local, are internal, would have gone faster and everybody would have gotten his card. But it's something that is on a tripod. We're involved, the Ministry of Hajj is involved, and the Muassasas are involved. So the system is cumbersome. Production is so overwhelming. I'm sure the Saudis too never thought that it's going to be this torturous. I'm talking about the process. we're not the only victims of the late delivery. Other nations are too. In fact, we're even better off because we had insisted and we detailed our staff to virtually be sleeping in the Muassasa's office to make sure that they retrieve this cars as quickly as they could. I'm sure we'll get there too, inshallah. We have been working around the clock. Yesterday too, we left just as it was about to be to get to the hours of dawn. We went to pray, but we still came back. And if you have noticed around the environment, you'd have seen people flocking in to collect it. So we again will continue working around the clock to ensure that everybody gets his card. And we didn't fail to remind the muassasas in particular that if it is a conditioned precedent that people must have the nusuk to perform Hajj, then means if there is need for us to work more than 24 hours in a day to make sure that we produce it, we must make sure that everybody gets it because it is their entitlement, and that's why they're here. So inshallah, there are some glitches here there. We are slow in concluding it, but inshallah we'll get there.
As you rightly said yesterday, we received briefings from the African stakeholders meeting. What is your general impression of the reports?
I think they've tried, to be honest. Being the first time that we're adopting some of the guidelines, which are purely strange, they are revolutionary, and we made sure that we had put round pegs in round cycles, as it were. And we've designated and appointed staff that had some background experience on how these things operate. And from the narration and the reportage we received and we had yesterday, you don't need to be convinced to know that yes, they knew what they're doing. The only thing is, like I said, is the first time of implementing most of the strategies. So there are likely going to be hitches here, there. And if you recall, one of the chairman of the committees said that, of course, we have to give rooms for error, as it were, going forward, because some of the innovations are just coming in afresh to do it. But I believe if we stay focused within what was narrated and going on the guidelines and we adhere to them strictly, we will get there. So it is really satisfying. They did so much. They did their best. And I'm sure after the meeting of stakeholders that we are holding, like I said, in the next 30 minutes, we'll be able to make an assessment, do a post-mortem of what we had, and knowing where we are and where we hope to be, starting from midnight today through tomorrow, inshallah.
NAHCON has been receiving commendations from critical stakeholders on its performance so far, as far as the resources of job creation is concerned, ranging from the completion of the end of the grievances of Medina, at the time, the issue of accommodation, feeding in Medina, and the rest. What do you consider the secret of this feat?
Sincerity, commitment, and determination. I've often said that as humans, we can always do better. We can always improve on whatever situation. And of course, these are the dynamics of life. If you remain open to advice, open to constructive criticisms, open to learning, and open to listening, then certainly you'll succeed. Like I said, we didn't have cause to indict any of our predecessors. We believe they've done what was humanly possible for them to do in the discharge of this onerous task and responsibility. But we still believe that learning from past mistakes, if there were any, or gaps that would have been noticed, would have given us the opportunity to make some adjustments to ensure that things are done different and of course, different results are obtained. And when we came on board, we tried to sit down on the table, talk to ourselves, talk within ourselves, listen to ourselves, and come up with new strategies, probably different ways of doing things differently. And that's what we adopted. And like you said, I won't fail to acknowledge your kind words and the kind words of Nigerians that had seen the positiveness of what we did, especially in terms of visa issuance and closure on time, and the airlift that had been remarkably achieved. We'll say the strategies we try to adopt in doing things differently are paying off. And going forward, we'll perfect on this. And if along the line there are glitches or there are pitfalls, we'll again take it as lessons to be learned going forward. And inshallah, gradually we'll get it right.
So what do Nigerians expect from the second week of the exercise?
They should be forward-looking, positive in their thoughts, just like we achieve what we have achieved, Allah permitting, we will repeat the same fate, and Nigerians will go back happily. The number of days in Mecca after Hajj will be reduced, so that as their families are eagerly waiting to receive them, they will arrive on time to the embrace of their family and their nation, inshallah. Thank you very much indeed. Barakallah.